Back in the 2000s, there was this Korean website called milim.com where amateur artists would post their music for people to download and listen to. And around 2006, Myhairball, also known as Naemole Karamungshi, fuck I can't speak Korean, was a dream pop shoegaze artist from South Korea that made his first post on the site with an EP called Afraid Just by Thinking. After that, he continued to post more music, dropping one more EP, 20th Century Nostalgia, and his first album Red Plug, which we'll be talking about today, and a couple singles. After the website shut down sometime around 2009, his music was deleted and he disappeared from the internet. But if everything was deleted, how do I know about this at all? Well, a friend of Myhairball 8 years ago on a channel by the name of Junu Appa TV posted 8 songs from Myhairball from different projects in random order. And under one of the videos, he left a pretty sad message in the description, discussing his nostalgia for the past, his reasonings for posting all of this, and his relationship with Myhairball. It reads, I have a lot of inquiries about my friend Myhairball, hereafter referred as Namonong. So I am leaving a comment. I am a friend who practiced band with Namonong during school days. The rest of us took the guitar, I took the bass, and we practiced and played together in college. Then, as we both enlisted in the military and had social lives, each of us chose a realistic path that was different from our dreams. To practice bass after being discharged from the military, I received the original song file made by the others at the time. I've had it on an external hard drive for a long time, but I thought I'd lose it, so I uploaded it to YouTube. The titles and covers were uploaded randomly by me, and the order of the songs is not correct. I haven't been in touch with the rest since I saw him at my wedding, 2012, so there is no point in asking me. That is all. All songs by Myhairball on my channel are owned and copyrighted by Myhairball. I have no money and no space to practice. I miss the time when I practiced guitar and bass in the corner after a church service I didn't even attend. After this, flash forward a couple years, a channel by the name of Crushing Dreams got in touch with another friend of Myhairball, ICQ Forever, and was able to get more songs from him and the track listings for the EPs, singles, and the album Red Plug. And then finally, Jesus, I'm using a lot of ands, last year 3 unknown tracks were uncovered by Matu and a friend of hers by going through archive.org. So yeah, since then, that is all we have when it comes to new music from him. Also, a heavy shout out to Matu for helping me with a lot of this information. This video would have been a lot more messy if it weren't for her. So again, thank you. Now that we've gotten through that slightly messy timeline, let's finally talk about the album. Red Plug was released on July 2nd, 2007, which is also the same year I was born, and the same year as the 2007 quarter. Jeez. Not to be confused with the 2000. So fucking stupid. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this album, I feel like I have to sort of label this project genre-wise so you can kind of get a grasp of what it's all about. The best way to describe Red Plug is that it's a shoegaze dream pop album. And if you're extra confused and you have no fucking idea what that means, well, let me quickly explain these stupid names. Shoegaze is a style of alternative rock that focuses on creating ethereal, noisy washes of sound, with bands utilizing various effect pedals such as distortion, reverb, and delay. The guitars often reach overwhelming volumes, making the lyrics unintelligible and mainly applying vocals as another melodic layer. The genre's name was coined in a review of Moose's concert, where the lead singer read the lyrics taped to the floor during the show. The British press picked up the term and began using it regarding bands that stared at their pedals or guitars, often due to inexperience while performing live. Then we have dream pop, which is also an alternative rock subgenre, characterized by reverberated guitars, effects-laden vocals, and dense productions, creating a psychedelic, spacious, and dreamlike sound. Songs are typically structured around traditional pop rock sounding progressions, often with a steady yet de-emphasized beat, and feature quiet, breathy vocal deliveries to give the music an ethereal feel. But yeah, in my personal opinion, I think the term dream pop fits the sound of this album a lot better. For example, while the guitars on here are definitely distorted, they are a lot more muted when compared to other shoegaze records. It holds a lot more resemblance to another Korean dream pop record, In Dreams and Dreams, than to, let's say, Paranol's To See the Next Part of the Dream. The opening title track, Red Plug, really sets the tone for the rest of this project. This isn't a really experimental album. There aren't massive grand build-ups or tons of layered instrumentation. It's very simplistically beautiful. It knows its vibe, sticks to it, and does it very well. Each track follows a very similar structure, usually starting off with some punchy electronic drums, followed by the real seller for this album, Myhairball's beautiful, dreamy, melancholic melodies that run throughout the whole song, and occasionally a droning synth in the background. 이젠 어두운 opts for a much more simple and repetitive structure that lets you really indulge in the constant melancholic atmosphere. All of this creates this dreamy, introspective soundscape that had me on the verge of falling asleep, but still able to hear and feel the music. Thoughts of my past and future bubbled to the top of my brain, and when the album finally stopped and I was plucked out of that world, I just wanted to go back into it. And that's a rare feeling for me, to immediately want to re-listen to an album after just finishing it. I usually just move on to the next one, but this had my full undivided attention. This felt like something special, something that I can listen to in lots of different situations. Those late nights alone in bed that feel like they could last for an eternity, walking back home after a long day of school, dealing with obnoxious classmates and annoying teachers, or even just playing it in the background while I do something. It's such a versatile and relatable sound that has left me with a lot of feelings of nostalgia for what used to be, when everything was a lot more simple. This album also has vocals on it which are done by Myhairball himself. They're very soft and calming with a lot of heavy reverb. They can be a little one-dimensional, but they work well with the vibe and add to the dreamy atmosphere of the production. For example, on the track Forgotten Memories, around the middle of the song we start to hear these heavily distorted vocals that at first I thought were a guitar. Overall, this is a real gem of an album in a sea of mediocrity. It shows so much potential for what Myhairball could have made later in the future, and it's basically a miracle that me and you are even able to experience and talk about this at all. If it weren't for people like Crushing Dreams, ICQ Forever, Jonk, Guljagidan, Sunghun LP, Genie, Juno Appa TV, and Matu, this album and all of his music would have been completely forgotten and lost with time, and I wouldn't be making this video here today. So again, big thanks and shoutouts to all these people. Now, before I officially end this video, I feel like I have to include this. To my knowledge, this is the last time Myhairball made a public post to do with anything. 5 years, 8 months, and 12 days as of scripting this video, he left on his website what seems to be a final goodbye to his fans and his past work. It reads, "Whatever I do, no matter what my will, time passes, years pass, and generations are covered. The melodies that I felt could not be better than this are buried under time. They can't shine because they are stained with old colors. The world spins. The old of the present is the present of the future, and the present is the old of the future. Everything is timed. A bundle of your hair, a bundle of my hair. All of them shine brightly for a limited period of time. It's defined by the word youth. You're born, you're alive, and you shine at some point. But the timing of the light engaging the world is not given to everyone. It is given to a select few, but they will not be aware that they have earned such a privilege. None of them will notice. You'll find out by the time the light disappears, it wasn't that your light was too bright, it was the world reflecting your light. Timing is not determined by anyone. Everyone is sincere. Be sincere and do your best. However, the sincerity and the best of the majority are too often covered by time. You may or may not be that someone. I may or may not be right." And yeah, it's a very truthful and honest message. Even though there are a couple mistranslations here and there, the general message of this shines through brilliantly. Your mere existence and your creations can all be buried and forgotten. The world keeps going forward and there's nothing you can do about it. This simple fact has been eating up at me constantly since last year. But after reading this a few times, in a way, it's kind of answered my worries. Yeah, the chances of the dreams I've had since I was 8 being able to come true are minuscule. There are tons of things holding me back in a world filled with billions of people fighting to get to the top, but I can still try. Instead of panicking about where life will take me in the future, I should keep creating and fighting for the things I'm passionate about, focus on what's in front of me rather than things out of my control. And as a wise man once said, be sincere and do my best. Yeah, I think that's a good way to end off the video. What do you think?